Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's Cashflow Digital. It's probably good news for everyone. Mike's not here again today. He will be back next week. So
he turned a seven-hour drive into a what was that? He added 12 hours onto it. It's like a 19-hour drive somehow. I don't know. He took the scenic route. You know, it must be nice driving up the coast. So
yeah,
he went through Canada to get from California to Idaho. So
I've been on a few of those drives myself.
Yeah.
Once I was in London and I thought 8 o'clock at night. I said if I floor it, I'll be home for about 2, 3 in the morning at the latest. And it got to 2 in the morning, and me and the wife decided to just go into a fucking service station motel type thing and stay there. And we were like 100 miles outside of London. I have no idea why it took that long. There was roadworks everywhere, just all sorts of crazy shit happening. So probably a similar story where there's been fucking roadblocks or some weird shit going on. It's not good. But anyway, guys, we are sponsored by ODYS, and we do have people in here already, but you can ask as many questions as you like. Normally, Mike has questions up his sleeve.
Yeah, ask away if you got them. So
ask away. So OP, good to see you. Alex Magswellings, we now see you.
Yeah, I had him blocked, but he came in under a different account somehow.
Craig Mullins just drove up Highway 1 from Cali to Oregon.
That's a beautiful drive, I've heard. Yeah, that's driven in. I've been to San Diego and just driving that straight, like Pacific Highway or whatever, is that's nice. It's hard to drive though, because you're driving, trying to pay attention to the road, but you want to see everything out the window. So it's nice for the person actually riding.
And Michael Likens, Mullins is here. Theo, Dirk, Holly Starks here. SEO Underground, guys. SEOunderground.co.uk if you're interested in an event in the UK. Actually, two speaking gigs lined up for next month, Brad. One in Barcelona, one in Marbella, and both we can't get there in person now. So
that's why Mike was asking about launching the event in September. I said I'd honestly rather wait until we know what's going on. Are they having trouble in UK because of what's happening in India now? Is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, so
everyone went on vacation to India and came back, and
there's all these different fucking variants and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that it gets under control, but as it stands right now, the UK is supposed to fully come out of lockdown on the 21st of June. Now, that's already been put back by 2 weeks at least so far.
It'll be early July at the earliest. Yeah,
I think so. And the thing is, I was also considering going to Brighton SEO, which is a big event here in the UK. But I was talking to a few other guys, and they're like, "Fuck that! You're going to have to, you can only have 2 hours at the bar. It's all going to be socially distanced and all that. And you know what it's like at these events. We don't want it socially distanced. We want to fucking
you're like
in the bar and talk shit to people's faces.
That'd be a shitty boxing match if we stay 6 feet apart the whole time.
Yeah, you might need it though.
With those arms, I will need it.
Man, the guns are getting bigger and bigger. I was in for a session today, so
nice.
But yeah, hopefully.
You've been sparring?
Yeah. Just I'm going to properly spar though with other people now. I've just been sparring with my trainer. But
nice. That's the hardest, in my opinion. I wouldn't. That's the dude I'd least want to spar with, is the owner of the gym most of the time. So
he's an amateur boxer, so he's fought to a good standards, and he knows his shit. And I do find it hard against him, but hopefully that makes it easier against someone like you.
Yeah, it should be easy it's nowhere to go but down.
Yeah, no, but it's just the way, you know what it's like when you're sparring with these guys, even the angle of the body, like you're just like, all I can do is see that part of them, and you're just like, running ideas on like what combos you're going to do or whatever.
It was hard for me to get, because I wrestled, so I'm square, so it's hard for me to get, cut that that down,
Yeah. So it's going well though, but we'll see come September how
they put me in with a dude this morning just for a few rounds. He's like 6'5", 260. So fucking animal.
I mean,
he took it easy on me, of course, because he had to. But yeah, they're like, get inside on him. I'm like, I'm fucking trying. So that's fun stuff. Speaking of boxing, though, and YouTube, did you watch the Floyd fight?
I did, and that Logan Paul did surprise me. I'm not going to lie.
He looked pretty good
better than I thought. But the reality is, I think in the paperwork and whatever, Floyd Mayweather was told to just go the distance, have fun. Floyd Mayweather could have had him at any given point. I
think so, yeah.
But he was fucking around. As Floyd Mayweather says, he's a grandfather. He's 44. He was just having fun.
He was only training a few days a week, too. So
yeah, and that guy was giving it his all. But that guy threw something. I can't remember the exact numbers, but he threw something like 243 punches and landed like 2%, where Floyd Mayweather threw half of that and landed something like 13.
Floyd was just coming in with that and then just trying to land that hook the whole time.
I think for Floyd, just getting in and trying to avoid that guy's punches was probably just a good.
He's a long dude. Yeah,
for him.
I think he would have to try harder against the other Paul brother, because that other dude's fucking crazy. But
yeah,
I don't know.
But if there's 60, apparently they both made 60 million from that. So
yeah, I heard Floyd made 120 and the Paul brother at least made 20. So
what million. The fucking figures are all over the place. I heard 60 each, but
yeah, the figure I heard going into it was 100 versus 10 million. And then after I saw that it was 120 versus 20. So who knows? It all depends on how many people bought it, which I think quite a few people bought it. It was a good event. Ocho Cinco, which I know you don't watch football. That was fun because he was from Cincinnati. So he played near us in Indiana. But yeah, it was much better than Triller last time. So
yeah, it's always interesting. But anyway, enough of boxing and on to the boring stuff.
Let's do it. SEObullshitting.com. Yeah.
Live RIL fan. I'm in contact with someone from Vietnam who's a working view bot that can also do CTR manipulation. However, I need proxies and Gmail accounts. What service would you recommend
for proxies? The higher end proxies I use is Litport. You could try Storm proxies, but LITPORT is what I use for botting and stuff for specific things. So they rotate through, I believe, but they have a bunch of different packages. So I would look through there. As far as Gmail accounts, it's always best to create your own if you can, which is a pain in the ass. But if you can't, I wouldn't. I mean, you could try GT Metrics, but there's an obvious discrepancy versus when we try someone emails like that for getting GMBs. I know he's not using them for that, but when we're using them for getting a GMBs versus an aged account that we had created, 10 years ago on our own, we can push shit through much easier with that type of account. So maybe Holly knows of someone who's a good provider for GMBs that's actually solid and can get aged. But yeah, Litport for IPs or Storm proxies, whichever. Yeah, I'd look around.
Yeah, there's there's loads of proxy providers. Yeah. That's not the hardest thing. I think finding a Gmail account provider, if you can't do them yourself, Holly may be able to recommend someone, or maybe even Holly does them herself. I have no idea.
Yeah, the problem with making them yourself is getting around the phone verification. So you're going to have to, if you make them yourself and do the phone verification, you're going to have a solution for, phone numbers that'll actually receive texts, which there are a few services out there for that too.
I've got a solution.
What you got? There you go.
There you go, guys.
Switching them out.
Do it yourself.
That's going to be the most bulletproof way to do them for sure.
I've got phones and shit. And the number and all that. I just put the little tag onto the back of it so I know which fucking number I'm doing it from.
Yeah, I put like a piece of tape on the back and just fucking write on a button. These don't have them, but this one does. I won't show that number, but yeah.
But yeah, that's my shit, and yeah, that my desk is caked in top-up cards and all that shit as well, just to top up all those SIM cards as well.
Yep.
Fucking riot, but that's the safest way in my opinion. That's my way. I know it's messy and fucking pain in the ass, but I use these phones for many other purposes as well, not just that. So it works well. But OP has took your advice for the ODYS domain. I set up the site using the scraper tool on your site. My only problem is that when I run an audit through Ahrefs, I'm seeing there are issues. Should I fix them?
Issues is in bad backlinks, or I guess I would need to know what the issues were.
He also goes on to say, actually, he bought some high DA links from people per hour to get the backlinks active. I spent about £200 across a few providers. How long should I spend before doing the 301? So if you're buying this to build up the power to then 301 redirect over to another website, you need to make sure that everything's getting indexed, the content and everything.
Yeah. Let it get indexed and ranking, and then 301 a page at the page level.
I would also debate, this is going to be a debate. Everyone's got a different answer for this, but how long does it take for a link to kick in? People say 30 to 45 days for it to actually pass value. So it's not something I would be in a rush to do. I try and forget about shit. That's, and then go back and look at it. I'm like, oh, sweet, this is ready. So that's, and obviously it seems there's a bit of a, how quickly can you do it? Just let it sit for a few months. Just let it get a bit of history. Let things get indexed, crawled, and your links to kick in and everything. So I would be waiting a definite few months, even 6 months or whatever. Smash the shit out of it and then redirect it. So I'd be sending Sape to that shit and everything just to power the fucker up. So
you could tier your niche edits too, which is what Mike and I typically do behind that type of stuff. So just stick with in NFG we tell everyone 3, 3, 3. So it's 3 on the first level, and then 3 to each of those, which is 9, and then it's essentially 3 to each of those, so it's 27. So it's 3, 9, 27 typically. If you're going to be redirecting or using that as a backlink, then I probably wouldn't go that third level. I would just stick with the 3 and 9 because it's going to save you a ton of money.
Yeah. Makes sense. We give us a second. Troy.
Yeah, Facebook user posted XG Media. That's one of the ones that we've tested versus the ones that we created ourselves. And I know for a fact that those do not do as well as the ones that we created ourselves. So, but you're looking at the ones you create yourself are the top tier ones. So anything is not going to be as good as that.
I heard you, Holly Starks is saying, I heard you have the quarantine for 2 weeks still in the UK. I'm not sure how that works, to be honest. It probably is. I think they're fairly strict. But Theo, hopefully in October things are back to normal. So fingers crossed. No hugging allowed from Alex Magdwellings.
Just after, right?
Live RL fan says we're never going to go back to normal. Country will only be open during the summer every year. USA is a lot more free than UK and Europe. They always are.
USA is getting a lot more vaccines, it seems like. They're a lot more readily available over here. From me talking to people, because did you get the one that requires 2? Yeah, so you have to wait 12 weeks in between?
Yeah, so I've only had the first one. I'm still waiting. I'm probably about another 8-9 weeks away from getting the second one.
Yeah, see, ours is 3 weeks. It's the minimum. So we get the first one, go back 3 weeks, and then we're done. So it makes a big difference.
How can America, such a big place, such a big country, be fucking more organized than us?
I have no idea.
5 million people. It sucks fucking ass.
I was honestly impressed because most of the time when you're dealing with government or anything with regards to the U.S., it is disorganized as shit. But we walk in there, I felt like cattle in a good way. You go here, and it was like the maze, and you sit down, get poked. Okay, go sit over here. We're going to set the timer 15 minutes. Then you can go and make sure you don't start foaming at the mouth or anything. I was impressed. So.
Yeah, nah, they're doing something right. So, yeah, fair play.
I think it's just they're pouring money into it is more than anyone else, which is the only thing we're good at is printing money and pouring it on shit. So.
Yeah, I wish they'd print some and give some to me as well, bastards. But anyway,
make it rain.
Yeah. So Dirk is asking, for casino affiliates in the USA, would you build specific state PBNs? Is that something you've worked in the casino niche, right?
Yeah, we've dabbled in it. We've had clients there in the past. Yeah, I guess for affiliates, what I would probably do if I was, I mean, that's always going to be a part of my campaign if I can make that portion work. Where casinos, you can make it work. Payday, you can make it work as well. So I would do the same thing like we've done in Payday. So it's like, you know, online payday loans, Denver, online payday loans, Chicago, any of those, get those going, have those pop pretty quickly, and it'll work really well. Casino should be right around the same. Online casino games, you know, insert city here is how I would do it. And I would probably use that as like a tier 2, tier 3 within my network, my ecosystem, if I'm building out a bunch in casino. So just have something slowly building those pages out, whatever mass page builder you like the most. If you can drip it, it's typically the best from what I've seen. So yeah, I would do that. And then I would go for specific brands as well on my primary money site, which is, you know, specific games, and push for those. So just start cranking those out.
Yeah. Michael Likens, he's finished up both of my Udemy courses, and he loved the Mini-Mate and personalization courses from you guys. He's got plenty of work to do there now. Now, without plugging all the time, check out the minimatetraining.com. Also check out nfgseo.com/7. For those courses, you can find mine on Udemy. They are the same courses that are on YouTube, so you can get them from Udemy or on YouTube. So take your pick. But yeah, always trying to add value and give people something to do. And Brad and Mike are the same.
Always be learning, to be honest. I mean, you can go through a free course or a paid course or whatever. If you can pick out one thing that is going to be that small tweak, it can make a huge difference. So
exactly. Live IRL fan was getting involved in the boxing chat. Best parts was when Logan put all his energy into a few punches and barely hit.
Yeah, that first round, he just that's what I'm expecting Craig to do. Just come out and try and end me quick.
From me, I was literally about to say the same fucking thing.
I think we're both going to do that.
But yeah, I'm going to let Brad come out and puff himself out and
blow my load all over you. Yes.
And see how it goes. Now, he'll probably do that and I'll be fucking puffed out just watching, and he'll probably just fucking beat me anyway. But
I think we're both going to be tired by the end. Are we doing 4 2s or 6 2s?
Come on, man. Someone said it was 3 3s, like fucking 6 2s. Well, whatever you think's best, I should be fine for 6 2s.
2s will be more fun, I think. So yeah. I think it's either 4 or 6, whatever you want to do.
I'll let you know near the time.
All right. It's either going to be 4 2s or 6 2s, everyone.
Because a lot of people say, "Oh, fuck's sake, 4 2s is not that much," but when you're in there, it's a long time. So I've been doing like 3 2-minute rounds just now with my guy, and I am fucking blown a gas.
Have you done any 3-minute rounds?
No.
There's a huge difference. When you step it up to 3, it's fucking crazy. How much that extra minute, you're just watching the clock.
I need to focus. I think I've got a massive problem with my breathing. When I'm doing
it. Yeah, everyone does. I do. Yeah.
I need to fucking do some research on how to breathe properly or some shit, because it's not good. I'm just like
nose. Yeah. Have you read that book, Breathe?
Nah.
That's a good book. Yeah.
And it genuinely helps you with your breathing.
Yeah, he does. Yep. That book I was reading, and it made me decide to finally go get my nose fixed, because I was 90% blocked on this side. And I'm reading it, And he said whether you breathe in through your right or left nostril, it activates different parts of your brain. And I specifically remember breathing in through the right activates like reaction time and shit, which I have horrible reaction time, just so you know. So the right side was blocked. And so I go in the doctor, I say, take a look at it. It's 90% blocked. You're going to need surgery if you want it to get fixed. All right, let's do it. So they had to I got hit in the face with a baseball when I was little, and I assume that's what did it. But yeah.
Can I just ask, like, how much would it cost you to get that nose fixed? Or how much?
It was like $3,000 with insurance.
So you're going to, and what are they going to charge you after I fucking break that nose in September?
I don't know. If you put it through the back of my head, it might not be much.
Oh man, sorry, I had to get that one in. Anyway, David, I probably get nowhere fucking near the nose. What anchor text strategies do you use to rank a site to rank higher without being over optimized?
Market level. Stick with market level. Stick with title, title match, because that's extraordinarily natural. So those two are primarily what we use.
Good. Gareth Dane is asking how the training's going. Mine's is going all right. I'm not getting there as fast as I would like. To be honest, I've been training now for 3-4 months and still breathing out my arse. But I'm also doing weights and shit.
What do you do? Do you do primarily pads, the bag, a mix?
No, we mix it up. You know, sometimes I'll even he's got these kind of. So normally what happens?
Paddles.
Yeah, you've got the paddles as well. But when he puts me in the bag and then I go onto the pads, my punches are a lot snappier. Yeah. So yeah, we're just going through a whole mix of stuff. Obviously, sometimes when you just go on the pads, it's a bit sloppy. But once you've been in the fucking bag and then you go onto the pads, it's like.
Yeah, build it on the bag and then head over to the pads. Works well. Pads will wear you the fuck out because there's no break. You know, a bag, you feel like you're working. You're like, oh, I'm hitting it. You know, though. But like, I'm sure if like I watched a recording of myself hitting the bag, it'd be mainly this. You know, just like in between punches and shit. But pad, you just get the pad holder to push you. So that's rough.
That's it's a good mixture though. But yeah. It's all fun, Gareth. I might need your backup, though. If you're getting over to America, we'll both just go for Brad. It's a fucking tag team effort.
Mike will get in, too. It'll be a Royal Rumble.
Gareth can look after Mike. I ain't fucking too big. But live RL fan, I have 100 phones as well. When you create the Gmail accounts, do you create one per phone using a 4G SIM each card? I do. You know, like every phone for me is a persona, so that is like
that's how I do it. Yeah, and then I download everything Google onto my phone. So, and I don't connect to the Wi-Fi. I buy a data plan for each one. So it's like the minimum is like $15 a phone per month. So it adds up over time, but I mean, for me, I'm making money off each one. So
yeah, they do multiple other things. You know, all of my phones have got they're like Google guides to certain levels and all sorts of fucking weird shit as well. So, well, you know how good Google guides are and everything, but even just for trolling people as well. So multi-purposes these phones. So squeeze as much out you can, but I stick to one account.
Yeah, safest way is one. If you want to stretch a budget, then maybe two. But yeah, safest is one. I mean, if you're in multiple niches, then you could probably cross-pollinate them a little bit.
Yeah, it depends on what you're fucking but anyway, David Troy has a page ranking for more than 50 similar keywords, but they're all bottom of page 1. How do I increase their rankings? Do I send 50 unique exact match anchor text of each keyword?
I would probably build out, depending on how much content you already have on there, I'd build out pages with quick, relevant content to those, and I wouldn't send 50 links to any one page. So I would do that, link those back up to the primary page, and then if needed, link to all those. But it sounds like a relevancy issue on your site is what I would think. So use Cognitive, build a keyword list, and build out those pages using like Quillbot or what was the AI that you were talking about last week? I would probably use that if I had it.
Conversion AI.
Yeah, is that what you were talking about?
Yeah.
I'd probably use that to get some quick content up, throw it up, link it over. Yeah, just use
Yeah.
market level on the way over. So
yeah, always good. But back to live IRL fan. Just create as one, simple and easy. Don't overcomplicate this in your head. I don't sit and personally do it. I had people in the office just take a couple of phones each and just do this over a period of time.
yeah, you just go to accounts.google.com, open a new account. So
easy peasy. But back to OP, the guy who had issues with the ODYS website that he put up. So missing meta descriptions, I personally wouldn't bother Mars about, to be honest. But canonicals, you have to fix. That's quite an important issue.
That's base tech SEO.
Yeah. But meta descriptions and bullshit like that, tagging images, I don't believe moves the needle that much. And for click-through rate, it was a proper website and everything, I would be concerned. But if you're going to do a 301 redirect, absolutely nothing I would be doing with the meta descriptions. But you need all the power and all the rankings and everything else initially. So sort those canonicals and anything else that is deemed relatively important, and get that website up and running. Holly Starks, my prezzo should now be to how to piss off 100 UK papers. The UK media is one of the biggest trolls I've ever seen. Yeah, they are. And also, Paul Hogden from SEO Underground is saying the UK is 75% vaccinated.
Oh, nice. I didn't know that. Yeah.
So they are getting closer. They reckon by end of July, start of August, everyone should have it.
I don't think the US is that high, as far as I know. But
again, you guys have got fucking, I don't know how many people in the US, but we've only got 65 million here.
Yeah.
So yeah, but they also are, to be fair to the UK, they've now got drop-in centres and shit. So if you are of a certain age, you can just literally rock up now and get it. So it's getting better. Definitely better. Even with the DMC ignored hosting. So Holly is having problems with the press in the UK. Love to know more, Holly, if you want to share. But Alex R., I'm somewhat new to SEO. What does it take to rank locally for a 0 keyword difficulty search term?
Typically not much.
A couple of lines of content, probably.
Yeah. I would just do solid on page, make sure that's right. And then, theoretically, you should pop on the first page with just that. If it's truly a 0 KD, now you see 0 a lot or like under 10, but you're like, there's no way in fuck that is, that low of keyword difficulty. So I would just throw it proper on page and see how it does and then go from there. Yeah.
OP again, the guy with the ODYS website, missing. This is going back to about 2008 to 2013. It has a history after that, but it doesn't seem to generate many links after that.
Yeah, I would just focus on the canonicals, get those knocked out, and
you're all good.
Be good, yeah.
Old PC games, category name in the URL. Do you leave it or would you remove it?
It depends on what's on the page level. Sometimes it's easier just to leave it. I like to have a flat silo so I don't have the category name in the URL at all if I can avoid it. But yeah, sometimes you need to leave it. So you just make up for it in other places. Title, H1, H2, all the headings, alt text. There's other ways to optimize it if you can't get that.
That's just for Paul Hogden. BK SEO. What does it mean when rankings are all over the place? One of my sites I'm trying to rank is in page 2 a few days ago, page 4 the next day, page 10 the third day, and then back to page 2 today. That will be a Google update of some description.
Update or a new page, or you've done something either content-wise or linking to it, and it's just bouncing. It's trying to judge where the page should be, so I'd let it ride.
So he's asking, is that Google experimenting and trying to figure out? It probably could be, but there is also talk of some update. I've had a few people ask me over the last few days how I'm feeling this new update, and I'm like, is there another fucking update? I've stopped fucking caring about updates, to be honest. So yeah, well, not that I stopped caring at all. That's not entirely true, but I don't sit there and obsess over.
I mean, you do SEO the right way too.
Yeah, you shouldn't
for the
worry
most
about
part.
it if you're, doing what you believe to be the best job. So, but it could be, as Brad says, just you've tweaked a few bits here and there, or built some links, and Google are trying to figure it out. Just let it settle down. Again, move on to something else. Just let it settle over a couple of days or over the next few weeks, and then reassess it and see if you need to do more of, better on page or whatever, or build more links or whatever it might be. Adam Poland says we've got to live stream your fight.
How do we do a pay-per-view?
We could just do that, even give the money to charity or something, and do a pay-per-view thing. Could be fun. I'm up for being able to watch the replay of Brad's head hitting the canvas. So yeah, be good to watch that back with a few beers. So let's get it recorded and live.
I like to admire my work afterwards. So.
I just had to get the insult in quick before Brad did. Terry Power is going to come along. He'll be there for the ring girls.
He's going to be there as a ring girl. I think he meant. Yeah.
I was going to say don't call Mike a ring girl, but that comment was better.
He's a ring woman. Thank you very much.
Terry, you are the ring girl, and we are going to go for that one. And Craig is representing Scotland, not Ireland, as Brad called it before.
Touch button the park with Conor McGregor. I got you.
Alex Chu, in foreign casino niche, basically everyone doing churn and burn sites. Any black hat tips to share to beat these churn and burn websites?
I mean, in any rough niche like that, it's just our goal is to put out as much content and keep as much in the index as possible. So figure out how to quickly just pump out content that's halfway decent, that'll convert. You're going to have your conversion points at the top. Like, in casino, you would have like the top 10 slots for, whatever. You'd have that at the top, and you'd have your content under there. Not that many people are going to scroll down and read your content. So, I mean, that's what I would do aside from, getting really black hat. But that's a little bit more longer term and simpler. So that's what I would do. Yep.
Follow what he says. Old PC games, what are some ways to boost a Web 2.0 website? Is it worth it? So would you go out your way to boost a Web 2.0 website?
I would, if I'm using Web 2.0s, they're tied to my entity. So it's just, a gig that I purchase, and then I get them all, and they're all interconnected. So then if I'm linking from, whether using niche edits or mininet style sites, I will link to the Web 2.0s, but they're tied to my entity, even with the same as and everything like that. And they are all linking to everything else as well. So if I link to one, it's going to boost everything. So that's the way you're going to maximize the benefit of linking to your 2.0s. But if I'm doing just like random ass 2.0s that I'm more or less resemble a PBN, then I haven't seen that strategy work in quite a while. Or like the old school DAS.
I'll tell you a funny story, actually, and I'm just going to throw it out there. There's a guy who sometimes comes in the live chat here, and I met him last week. I was having a conversation with him, and he went, Craig, he says, I'm going to say something outrageous. He says, and I'm being deadly serious when I say it, he went, Sape direct to your money site really does work. This guy
does. It can.
He's like, why would you not send these direct to your money? He's got the bug for Sape. Yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there.
Everyone that discovers Sape gets the bug for Sape, I feel like. So I can't read Russian, so.
Man, if you've not seen the dashboard recently, like it's fucking 10 times better.
Oh, really? Yeah, I haven't.
Oh,
I mean, it's at least 5 years since I've tried to log
oh,
into
oh,
anything.
mate,
Yeah.
it's all in English and all that now. Like
Oh,
you don't,
nice.
yeah, you don't
You
need
don't
to
have to send in your passport or anything to get an account
Ah,
anymore?
no, no,
Oh.
no. Plus, it's like rentals they do on there, but it's like fucking $1 a month to like
Mhm.
rent a DR60 and shit like
Nice.
that. It's madness. But yeah, he's he's doing up his fucking money websites, which I personally wouldn't do. But yeah,
It depends on the money website and how much you care about it, I
yeah,
guess. Yeah.
he's just fucking around with some lead gen and
Yep.
stuff. So I don't think it's hugely important, but he will learn one way or another.
Mhm.
But yeah, it was just funny to
Those
hear it.
public networks are dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, on to David Troy. How often do you use exact match anchor text and partial match anchor text in your campaigns?
Exact match hardly ever, to be honest. I follow we use the title and we use a lot of market level, and that's essentially all we need, especially as aggressive as we get with the on page. Where you're gonna trip the red flag is if you get ultra aggressive on your anchor text as well, from my experience. So I would do as much on page as I can because it's free, and then I would be more gentle with my backlinking going forward.
Yeah, I think gentle's the the right word. You don't have to have it exact match at all, really.
Mm-mm.
Branded, whatever, a link's a link and it's going to pass value. Of course, people will argue, having an exact match or partial match will help a little bit more, but a link is a link and it still does the same thing.
What I would prefer to have is an optimized page that I'm getting a link from, or a niche relevant page that I'm getting a link from that doesn't have exact match, rather than something on a site that doesn't make sense to my industry linking over with an exact match. So if you can get some cues on, if you're doing a guest post or of course a mini net, you're going to be able to, if you can do optimize that page to rank for something long tail in the niche that closely relates to the page that you're linking to, then that works exceptionally well. And you don't have to worry about anchor text.
Yeah. Makes sense. Now, I'm going to ask you this question, Brad. Do you guys use Scrapebox and how can it be useful? So out with the usual bullshit that Scrapebox has in its sales page, what else can you use Scrapebox for, or what else do you use Scrapebox for?
Expired domains, you can use it for that quite a bit. If you're doing expired domains, I would use the Yellow Pages extension, and find sites that have entities already built out. So if they've got a Yellow Pages, maybe they have a Super Pages and a bunch of other stuff, which a quick site search would find that. That's primarily what I would use it for, is that just building up if I want a localized network, I'm going to go to the city, I'm going to upload a crap ton of keywords, and then let it rip. And maybe I find a bunch of, if I want to rank in Greensboro, I find a bunch of old restaurant websites that have gone defunct during COVID, and grab those, set them up, and then have a site sponsor. Or say I'm trying to push web design Greensboro, I'm going to recreate those on different IPs, all the restaurants in Greensboro, and then I'm going to link all of those back to my web design, designed and maintained by Greensboro Web Design, or whatever my brand name is. So
But
that's what I use it for.
There's so many things you can use Scrapebox for: scraping people's email addresses, spamming the shit out of people's contact forms, even checking live links. You can upload your links there and check if they're still live. Literally, this tool can be used for so many different things. Blog comments, even all the kind of usual garbage that was initially. I'm assuming it was initially made as a spamming tool, but there's so many other things you can use, and all the premium. There's a load of free add-ons, but there's a couple of premium ones that you see, the Yellow Pages extension and all that kind of stuff. I still use Scrapebox on a regular basis. Still think it's a great tool.
Yeah, honestly, it's good just to have. And then if you're trying to figure out how to do something, you're like, man, I wish I could do XYZ, and then run a Google search, and Scrapebox typically has a an extension for it, like you said. So
yeah, I think it's definitely worth the. Was it $97 or
yeah,
something?
it's been 97 like the whole time, I feel like. So never
So
raised.
yeah, use it for what you see fit. I still personally use PBNs. Brad,
Yep.
do you guys still use them?
Yeah, MiniNetTraining.com is exclusively like the way that we set up our PBNs. So
Check it out. Alex R. On Ahrefs, it's 0%, 0 KD, but on Uber Suggest, the difficulty is 35. I'll try ranking with on-page solely using something like Cognitive or Suffer. What advice would you give for making a blog for the site?
relevant content on the blog, I guess, would be just about it. You've got Cognitive, so use that as your keyword base and develop content based on that, linking back to the primary target. So
check out what the competition's doing, the guys that are ranking well, and replicate what them guys are doing, if it's of course worth doing. But I'm sure it will be. There's always something to be stolen or borrowed from the competition's websites, even if it's just blog ideas. I do it all the time. Like, what the fuck can I talk about today? Just pinch it from one of the many people out there that are doing SEO. Jared Abbott is asking, is there a bookie covering this fight?
Jared, Mike, I think, right?
Yeah, but Jared, I would ask, who is your money going on? It's got to be me, surely. I'm only kidding. Live RL fan, so only one account per phone. I have 100 phones, so obviously that's only 100 Gmail accounts. I'm going to need more than that. Is it not possible to have 10 accounts on each phone? There must be a way, surely.
There is. You'll hit a limit eventually, but you can do it.
Yeah. But I'm not sure 10 on each phone is possible. I'm pretty sure, I can't remember when I was doing it, and I've had these phones for years. I'm pretty sure you get maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 tops out of a number. And then, that's it. So in terms of verifying the Gmail and stuff, I believe it might be lower now, but I'm pretty sure it was 3. I don't think it was a consistent number. I think sometimes it was like 3 or 4 at a push. Sometimes it was 5. But Holly or someone else may be able to advise us of what that exact figure is this day and age, because I don't do that shit anymore. Mine's are already set up. So yeah, I'm up for a paid live stream. Where do we place bets? Speak to Mike Pierce, Mr. Mullins. And who's your money going on, Mullins? I hope it's me. We're mates. So someone's got to fucking bet on me. Michael Likens. I've noticed keyword volume data will be different across SEMrush, Ahrefs, and Google Keyword Planner. Why would that be? And what do you trust the most? So I've actually got some insights to this, but I'm going to let Brad come up with his answer first.
I mean, at the end of the day, they're all third-party, softwares, guessing essentially. So I would say don't trust any of them. Use them all as a gauge, and go from there. So I use Ahrefs just because I'm looking at the backlinks and stuff. So it's my primary thing. And then I know Mike uses SEMrush quite a bit. So that combo, we can usually, get something pretty good going.
So what Brad had said is pretty much accurate. It is just a guide. However, I do know that SEMrush have implemented a whole bunch of new servers and technology and everything to get more data. Essentially, what happens here is getting that data is key, and the all the technology that goes behind it. And I do believe that SEMrush have invested heavily into getting more of the power and resource that they need for that data to be a lot more accurate. And that is something that is currently being rolled out. So SEMrush, as far as I'm concerned, have the most accurate data. It's not every part of the data. Now, obviously, when I was on this conversation, and I'm limited in terms of what I can actually say just now, but even when the data comes through to the likes of SEMrush, a lot of that data is filtered for a number of different reasons, because if it's not filtered and it doesn't have any kind of quality control over it, then the cost of that data would just be fucking outrageous. So these companies do have their own internal filters and stuff in terms of what they do to filter all of that data as well. So you have to bear in mind that's how the system works and stuff like that. But I know SEMrush are investing heavily in it, so I would be swaying towards them, not because I'm an affiliate or a friend of them, but I do believe that their data is very, very accurate. That doesn't mean that Ahrefs are not doing that. I don't know. I don't work as closely with Ahrefs, but I know SEMrush's data is getting a hell of a lot better. Anyway, Yaniv, Brad, how would you power up new domains in a mininet so that they pass just to the main money website?
Easiest and cheapest is niche edits. So that's probably what I would suggest. I'm going to start with a mininet that has some relevant links anyway, based on our criteria for getting them. So at that point, I'll build out the site, and then say I have an internal page that I want to link from, and I also want that to rank. I'm going to treat that like a money page, money website page. So I'm going to link to that just as I would any other money site, website, whatever. And I'm going to get that indexed and crawled and hopefully ranking. And then at that point, I know, you're good to link it over to the ultimate, the top tier money site. So,
yeah. Also, live RIL fans get on about the phone verification stuff again. And if you have 10 accounts, blah, 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 can Google figure it out? Now, what I would say, live RIL fan, is what I would suggest from the outside looking in is you pay Holly Starks for an hour of her time and ask her. I think she's the best in terms of doing this on a massive scale.
Yeah, scale, she's going to be the way to go. Yeah.
She would be the person I would hook up to, because although I've done it, I don't know what Brad and Mike have done in terms of how many phones they've got. But Holly's, I can't even remember how many phones she's got. I know she started with 100, but Holly will know the answers to these questions, the current answers to these questions. As I say, when I was setting my stuff up years ago, I get 3, 4, or 5 or whatever it was per phone number that I could do. But I've got I'm cautious and all that. Holly is probably doing what you're trying to do, and I think she reach out to her and say, listen, can I buy an hour of your time, and ask her these questions, because I think you get a much better and more accurate answer from Holly on that particular topic. Dirk is asking, any industry specific ranking fluctuation you're noticing from the Google June core updates? That's the question I keep getting asked all the time just now. I personally, and I'm not sure what your thoughts are like, Brad, but I personally don't worry too much about an update as soon as it's been rolled out. I think you've got to wait weeks, maybe even sometimes months.
Yeah, they're always going to have a rollback regardless. So
yeah.
So you're going to get flux, across the board, unless, I don't know what industry wouldn't have any flux. So, and that's why we say diversify to a certain extent. If you've got a number of industries in your portfolio, say you're doing PPL, which we do. If you've got a number of industries in your portfolio, I did it. So throughout the year, right now for substance abuse, it's lower because all the kids are at home. They're not going to want to go get treatment right now. But as soon as August hits, it's going to spike and go through probably March of next year. So I just prepare for that. But in that downtime, what can I find that will generate cash flow throughout the summer? So that's kind of how I set it up anyway. And then that inadvertently helps me with updates as far as from a cash flow perspective.
Hopefully that helps you. Craig, do you have any decent videos on anchor text link best practices? I'm not sure. I may have. I might not have. It's not something I would be probably that focused on. I can make one if people and give you my opinion on it. But my opinion is not different from what Brad's already said. Do not, I very rarely use exact match anchor text. It will be partial, or partial's me being spammy, if you like. And I like to try and mix things up and focus on other things in terms of on page and everything else. Get that right, and you don't have to be as aggressive with your anchor text, because I think when it comes to link building, you can't be aggressive anymore. You've got to be gentle, as Brad put it. So it's not something that I would sit there and try and say, oh, you've got to get it down to this fine art, and there's this ratio and all this stuff. And I think that's what people are wanting us to say. Like, they're out of 10 links, use 2 exact match anchors.
Yeah, I mean, that's what people used to promote, and the information that used to be out there. So that's what people are used to. But honestly, I want to get as far as I can with the on page, so I don't have to fucking worry about off page, because the off page is the expensive part in the long run. So yeah, if you can avoid linking at all, then that's fantastic. So
I will do a video on it though, on how I do it, but it's pretty much the same as what Brad has said earlier on there. But if people find that useful, I'm happy to do a video on it. Jared Abbott, we need to see the weigh-in stare down before I place my bet. Yeah, that's probably a good shout, because I'm going to be.
Are we weighing in? I'm not weighing in.
I'm going to be careful. I'm weighing in.
You trying to lose or gain weight for this?
I need to lose a bit. I'm not. Obviously, I'm carrying extra weight and stuff, but I don't particularly want to lose that much. I need to get leaner. I feel a bit stiff and stuff. I'm not as flexible as I probably should be. So I need to lose a bit of weight to get that. But I want to try and retain a bit of power, because I'm probably not. What height are you? About 5'8", 5'9"?
5'9", yeah.
5'9". So I'm probably similar in height to you. But you obviously look as if you're quite jacked, and I want to have that kind of thing as well. Got to look for power. I don't want to be some frail 12-stone guy or something. That's the. When I'm training just now, that's why I'm doing a lot of weights and stuff, because the guy's basically saying he's trying to sculpt my body. He wants me to power in my arms and my shoulders and stuff. He doesn't want me to lose too much weight too quick, because it's not a good look either. But also, if I'm going to be boxing or enjoying the boxing, I need to have an element of strength and power. So I don't particularly want to get down to a certain weight. I just need to be a lot more flexible, and that's it. So if that means I'm going to be 15 stone, then so be it. Whatever. I'm not trying to.
Yeah, there's going to be that magic mark with weight, I feel like, for everyone, without cutting. Of course, you could cut if you had to make weight. You could cut, and then you put 10, 15, 20 pounds on, and after you cut. But yeah.
But let's just say just now, I'm like a fucking heavyweight. And what would you say you are?
I would be close to light heavyweight. I could get down to light heavyweight, because there's a huge discrepancy between cruiserweight is 200, and then anything over 200 is heavyweight. So between cruiserweight and light heavyweight goes from 200 to 175. So I could get down to 175 relatively easily. So I've gotten as low when I started and really focused on, cutting back calories and crap like that. I got down to 168, which is, I wrestled in high school at 171 my last year. So.
Fuck. These are only weights I can dream of. Oh, come on, Theo. Right, I'm taking it back. I'm not doing that fucking.
He won't get dropped in the first. We're going to have headgear and bigger gloves on, so it's going to be a slugfest. So it'll make it more entertaining, I think.
Yeah, 16 ounces. We agreed.
That's what you said. I tried to talk you into 10, but
my trainer ain't having that one. He's warning me against that shit. So, plus I want to check these fucking gloves and everything before the fight. I want to inspect your gloves. I don't
probably get Hayabusa, the tie-up ones, because I've got the Hayabusa Velcro. But I've never had tie-up ones. I'll just write them off since this is for work. So,
anyway, back to the good stuff again. While we've got 2 minutes left, Yaniv, Search constantly showing my pages on my site are not in the index, but they're ranking. any idea what's going on.
A lot of times it'll pop in the index and pop right back out, but it'll stay in Search Console. So I assume that's what's happening. So they're testing you.
David Troy, I do have sections on my course about on page, and you'll be able to also find it on my YouTube channel as well. You guys got on page stuff as well?
Yeah, we've got the cog stuff, and I mean, it's just a flat silo cog pop if you want to use it. But yeah, nfgseo.com/7, and you're good.
Guys, also make sure you do what Old PC Game says and hit that like button, just so that the trolls are defeated, if anything. So please do hit the like button if you have enjoyed the content. Brian Schultz, who's the Russian guys for Sape? I got competitors using someone in Russia for a ton of links. Just go to sape.ru.
Yeah, Sape's Russian.
Yourself. You can go there yourself. You don't have to go to a guy for it, or you're going to pay more money. So you can go there direct if you want. But, you know, up to you and what way you want to work it out. Michael Likens, beside courses, what are the bare bones must-have tools for someone getting into PBN affiliate stuff on a budget? I have 100 SEO tools bookmarked, but these monthly subscriptions would add up quick. So what is your top tool on a budget?
I mean, I use Ahrefs to find Mininet, so I would have to have that on there. And then SEMrush if you're doing any client stuff, because they issue some nice reports and stuff like that. So those two, and you should be good. Cognitive I really like for on page, but split some accounts with people.
OP, we are very similar in height, but I am heavier, so there's got to be some advantage to being a fat bastard.
Power.
Yeah, power. But on back to Michael Likens, yeah, the tools that Brad said, you don't need every tool on the market. That's what what we call shiny object syndrome. You don't need it.
It's just a distraction.
Yeah, just do the stuff that you need to, do what you need to do. But there probably is 10, 15 tools that I use on a regular month-to-month basis. Not when I say tools, I don't mean SEMrush, Ahrefs. I'm talking about like Magic Page plugin and fucking POP and all these kind of things. So, just part of my process. There's probably about 10 or 15 overall that I use. VPN and all that's in there as well. Money Robot, SEO Autopilot. There's a whole bunch of stuff. So depending on what you're doing and what your strategy is, and you might be able to delegate a lot of that stuff out so that you're not paying for the tool. But anyway, BK SEO. Do you wait for a PBN to start receiving traffic until you link to your site or not? Also, if you see that you can't monetize your PBN and get traffic, do you still link to your site?
If it's not indexing and not ranking for anything, then I wouldn't use it for linking.
Yeah,
it is what I would look at. As far as traffic, I mean, the traffic tools take time to catch up, so I don't necessarily wait for that. I want indexing to be decent on the site, because I've had some that I thought looked decent. I threw them up. I put some content on there and they never fucking indexed. I can force it, but then it pops right back out of index. There's obviously something wrong with that site. So I wouldn't use it. But as far as, when to use it for linking, indexed and like it's got some rankings at least on the third page or better. So
Adam Poland is asking, how significant do you think the alt text is on images for SEO?
I use it for relevance. I don't typically use exact match my exact keyword. So I've got that elsewhere. And then I'll try and describe the picture. So if I'm doing a lander for a plumber, I'll do, say I'm going for plumbers in Greensboro, I would, optimize it elsewhere. And then for the alt text on the image, I would probably do a picture of a tech on a job or on a plumbing job in Greensboro, something like that. Just somewhat relevant. But yeah, I would definitely put them in there because they're ultimately meant for, people that can't see that good, right? So the screen readers can read them.
Yeah. That's EDA compliance for you.
Yeah.
What's my height? I'm 5'8". Brad is 5'9", so he's probably a pube.
You're gonna be a few inches taller after I catch you with that uppercut. I'll be like Rock'em Sock'em Robot.
Last one for tonight, guys. Do give us a like. Have you ever seen pages getting indexed that were non-existent? I noticed my 404 never had a no index, but have fixed that now. I guess that's what a problem was.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get into Search Console, because I have seen 404s, especially if it's from a site that you're rebuilding that was owned previously by someone else. If you do not want that in the index, you're either going to need to 301 it or go into Search Console and de-index it.
That fucking OP guy is a fucking legend. There's nothing there. Look at that OP. Come on. Your money is safe, OP. But on that note, guys, we are out of time this week. We will be back with Mike Pierce next week.
Maybe if he's back from California,
Yeah, he might still be driving.
He's driving to Russia from, I don't
know. But if you haven't already liked, please do give us a like. Do check out ODYS. Also, do check out minionettraining.com and nfgseo.com/7. Mike and Brad also do have a show on a Thursday. Is that going to be on this week?
Yeah, it should be. Yeah.
So check that out as well. And a last thank you to the ring girl, Mr. Terry Power.
Can't wait.
But we appreciate it, everyone. Have a good one, and catch yous all next week. Cheers, guys.
Later on.
Bye-bye.